Neil, after all the challenges and the blocks on Saturday, you've got the same squad to choose from for Tuesday. That must A, be pleasing, and B, be a minor miracle.
Well, it's pleasing that I've come in today and there's been no reaction to Saturday, because there was obviously a few people who were battered and bruised and obviously a few tired legs, but nothing that I can see is going to affect what team I can put out for Tuesday. So I'm pleased to get through that game unscathed.
The others who are longer term, Manny and Montano, you're still looking quite a way away yet?
Yeah, I think not only are they not going to be available, in the short term, I think we've got a reserve game that they'll need to play in. We've also got a checker trade game as well. So hopefully by the time we come to select them, they've had at least one game, and then we can, decide whether to put them into the squad. But we'd like them to be back earlier, but we're obviously going to have to take our time, because especially with Manny, he's had now 4 injuries. So I think psychologically he's not going to be, in a great place. He's going to need his confidence before he comes back. So he's going to need 1 or 2 games, I think, before he plays.
Tell us about Theo Vassell, because he really impressed at the weekend at Oldham. And when a manager brings a player with him who he's managed before, that's normally a sign that he rates him quite highly.
Well, I think with Theo, I took him to Gateshead, and he was a gamble. I think at the time, I knew I'd obviously seen him play because he was on loan at Chester in the same league, and he had some good attributes. But he'd had a mixed season, I think, it would be fair to say. But I'd seen enough in him to give him a chance, and at Gateshead, he was certainly did better than I expected, and he was probably our best defender, and was attracting a bit of interest from other clubs. And then I left, obviously, to take this job, and he didn't do so well, whether that was confidence or whatever, but he didn't finish the season particularly well. So when it came to the end of the season, I was then faced with a decision to make. And I felt that he had, again, I felt he had enough attributes that it would be silly to not take a gamble. And I've brought him here, and we've tried not to throw him in at the deep end, tried not to sort of rush him, because it's at the end of the day his career's on the line, and I feel a responsibility to him as well. But certainly he came through we couldn't have a more trying debut in terms of what went on with the scoreline and everything in the Lincoln game. But he then played in the midweek and he did well, and we wanted to keep him in the team. And as I say, Saturday he did everything that we asked, and I was really pleased with him.
Bright future, would you say?
Well, I think I'd be loath to start saying about anybody's future, because I think we're in an age now where you play one good game, you're a world beater. You play one bad game, and you're absolute rubbish. So all I would say is he's got a lot of tools in his locker. He's got pace. He's strong in the air, and he actually strikes the ball with either foot really well. So there's a lot of good attributes to work on, and I'm confident that if he can put that all together, then there is a player that can do well.
Tom Pope, now this is not just when you've been manager, but when he was here before, there was this theory of Port Vale can't cope without Tom Pope. How big a player is he in your team, and can you cope without Tom Pope?
I don't like to cope without Tom Pope. That's why I always want him playing, and that's why I pick him all the time. The question is, we must cope without Tom Pope, and we must get somebody who can do the job that Tom Pope can do, and that is very difficult. And every team in the league wants a striker who can score goals, and we have to find one. And it's not easy, because everybody wants one, but we must strive to get forwards at the club who can do that job.
How big a priority is that for you in the January transfer window? I know you were frustrated, weren't you, in the summer?
You know, we've brought in other players, but you need to have probably 4 strikers that can score goals. That's what you'd like to have at a club, 4 strikers who can score. And then if one's injured or 2's injured, you've got the other strikers. But to get 4 strikers who can score goals is very difficult. But we must strive to get more strikers into the club who can give us more options in terms of scoring goals.
And Stevenage away midweek, are you bothered when you play? It's a bit of a long trip midweek, but does it really bother you when that fixture crops up?
No, I think with fixtures you can't pick and choose. You've just got to take what you get and get on with it. It doesn't really matter. Playing Stevenage or having a strong season, I think obviously the sending off on Saturday affected them, going down to 10 men, but they still acquitted themselves well. They don't concede many goals, especially at home. And again, it's another tough game, but they're all tough games. Just this Saturday proved. All I ask is that the players put in the same levels of effort and commitment, and then I'm happy with that. I won't, or you never get me saying we're going to win a game or we're going to do this or that. Don't think you can ever say that, but if they work as hard as they did on Saturday, then I'll be happy with that.